Excited to welcome you here today again to celebrate the marriage of Michael and Suzanne. I know that some of you have travelled a very long way to be here, and I know that Michael and Suzanne greatly appreciate your presence and your sacrifice. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Fergal, Mick's younger brother. Come on, Fergal! And I have to admit, I felt very honoured when Mick asked me to perform this role as his best man, but also somewhat surprised. It has since come to light that he didn't trust any of his friends not to hang him out to dry. So, it's great to be standing here today. Mick's pointers or words of guidance when writing my speech were, and I quote, "All you gotta do is up me." But because it's my speech, I can say whatever I like. And I'd like to reflect for a few moments on Mick's favourite subject, love and relationships.
He's sweating.
Today ushers in the beginning of a wonderful new phase in the lives of Mick and Sue. They have both made this choice, and love is their decision. I say this because that's what it is, a decision. Despite sounding like a fairly clinical and unromantic assessment of the situation, if you think about it a little deeper, there is truth in these words. It's easy to fall in love. Michael's done it many times. When a young couple first meet, the world is seen through rose-tinted glasses. As you grow into your relationship and the realities of life take hold, things like a mortgage, getting the next Jeep, kids, life's general ups and downs, you start to realize that love is a conscious decision. Relationships take a lot of work, and you have to be working at them all the time so that you grow together. When you hit a bump in the road, that's the time you stop and realize love is a decision. You have made a conscious decision to love this someone, despite their shortcomings and despite not always agreeing. So, today I will briefly talk you through how Mick came about to this here present decision. Now, being Mick's younger brother, I can't speak much of Mick's earlier years. Although I have been told many times of the day he learned to say no. It continued on like that for quite some time, I'm told. My parents have often spoken of fond memories of playing football with Mick as a toddler, when he would simply grab the ball, declare it his, game over. Mick and Sue's friend Gertrude, who sang so beautifully for us earlier on. Yeah. Gertrude. She was Michael's classmate in junior infants in Slane Hill. And surprisingly, she remembers Mick's gentler side. During Michael's first terrifying weeks at school, she recalls Sarah, his eldest sister, coming into his class every hour to give him a hug. My earlier memories of Mick are mostly involving some kind of torture, like trees, locked in cupboards, throwing out windows, stuff like that, sometimes all at the same time. But as a younger brother, all you can do physically and mentally is look up to your elder. Admire his new mullet haircut, his new Duran t-shirt, listen to his new Transvision Vamp or Death Metal album, and of course idolize his idols. Simon Le Bon, James, Madonna. So the fact that I ended up choosing fashion as a career, maybe I owe it all to Mick. But Mick was a late developer, say his parents, and it wasn't until his mid-20s that, according to them, he turned the corner. It took success in his work. It took success in his work and a trip to Australia to meet a girl who lived practically around the corner to change Mick and, of course, his life for the better. but I recall Nick being vehemently opposed to the notion of marriage for quite some time. Almost as long as I can remember until recent events. When himself and Sue were together for a couple of years and things were looking like they were going this way, I often wondered how on earth he'd overcome this large So, before I continue, I'd like to offer a mid-speech toast just to Sue for helping me around just to Sue. But getting back to Nick's rebellious years, which just to remind you began at about age 5 and went on to about 25. His keen business mind surfaced around 4th, 5th class in St. Lawrence's primary schoolyard one break time, when he was caught red-handed trying to sell lewd images to classmates. Lewd images of Madonna. And immediately suspended. Sometime later, he came home from Irish college with a full-on Mohican haircut, much to the stress of his mother. But Ireland couldn't hold Mick for much longer, and his passion for travelling and adventure soon took him much farther afield than Balbriggan Irish College. On every trip away, I remember he would pack at least half of his bags with supplies of tin beans and sardines, just in case they ran out of them in Germany or France. On returning from a trip to Austria one year, when he was escorting his younger sister Cleena home, there was a famous or infamous incident in Heathrow Airport. Stansted Airport. To set the scene, it was during the height of the Troubles. So young, scruffy Irish lads were suspect number 1. My parents waited at Dublin Airport to collect their darling son and daughter. They weren't on the plane. They returned home slightly puzzled, wondering where they were. Eventually Mick called home saying there's a bomb scare on the plane, everything's grand, all you want to see. It turned out that Mick was the bomb scare. The next call home was from a member of airport special security to check Mick's identity after several hours of interrogating himself and his poor little sister. He had a lot of explaining to do about it. Then there was Greece, where on a 3-week holiday he picked up the age-old habit of snorting ouzo, the national drink of Greece. Coincidentally, Nick's party piece for later on. Although by all accounts it was the only thing he picked up in Greece. And then came the epic journey to Australia, which he has said of it was the best year of his life, and has, in a way, not yet ended for either himself or Sue, and we hope it never does. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses to the happiest